Hunter Biden's pardon is drawing fresh criticism. California is getting ready for a Trump presidency. And a man in Canada ran 700 miles to create a work of art. That's some of what we'll get to on the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Tuesday, December 3rd. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. President Joe Biden is facing growing criticism for pardoning his son Hunter. On Sunday, Biden issued an unusually broad pardon for his son, who was convicted on federal gun charges in June. The pardon covered a nearly 11-year period. It made Hunter Biden the closest relative to receive a presidential pardon in U.S. history. Biden argued that the decision was meant to protect his son against a continuation of what he described as politically motivated prosecutions. Republicans have harshly criticized the decision, but so have some Democrats, who warned the pardon will undercut faith in the U.S. justice system. And they said it could help Donald Trump attack the Justice Department. Colorado Democratic Senator Michael Bennet criticized the decision to CNN's Caitlin Collins yesterday.
When you turn around after you say month after month after month, you're not going to pardon your son, and then you do pardon him, putting the personal ahead of your responsibilities to the American people, it just gives the American people a sense that there's one system for the rich and powerful and another system for everybody else, which is one of the reasons why we haven't been able to keep Donald Trump from coming back here again for a second term.
Number 2. Trump said there would be hell to pay if hostages are not released from Gaza. In a post on his social media site Truth Social yesterday, the president-elect demanded the release of hostages before his inauguration on January 20th. Otherwise, he said, quote, "Those responsible will be hit harder than anybody has been hit in the long and storied history of the United States of America." Trump did not mention Hamas, who took the hostages in its attack on Israel on October 7th last year. His post came hours after Israel confirmed that Omer Nutra, a U.S. citizen believed to be held in Gaza, was in fact killed on that day. Number 3. California is getting ready for Trump's presidency. Yesterday, California lawmakers returned to the state capitol to open an emergency session. It's aimed at establishing a legal fund to combat the incoming Trump administration's expected barrage of lawsuits. Lawmakers are planning for years of anticipated conflict with the federal government. Trump has vowed to punish California if the state resists his planned policies. That includes the mass deportation of undocumented immigrants. The special session began as Democrats across the country are scrambling to respond to Trump's election and prepare for an administration that has promised open hostility toward blue states and liberal policies. Number 4. Missing woman Hannah Kobayashi was seen crossing into Mexico. Kobayashi is a 30-year-old photographer from Hawaii who disappeared more than 3 weeks ago after missing a connecting flight in Los Angeles. Her family said that in some of her last communications, she sent bizarre text messages that were out of character. Her case drew national attention after her father was found dead after spending 13 days searching for his daughter in Los Angeles. His death was ruled a suicide. Yesterday, Los Angeles Police Chief Jim McDonnell gave an update on the case. This audio is from ABC 7 Los Angeles.
As the family is aware, late yesterday, after traveling to the U.S.-Mexico border, we reviewed video surveillance from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which clearly shows Kobayashi crossing the United States border on foot into Mexico. She was alone with her luggage and appeared unharmed.
The police said they will not continue their investigation across the border, but will be notified if she returns to the U.S. Cucumbers were recalled because of a salmonella outbreak. That's our fifth story. Federal officials have said that at least 68 people have been sickened and 18 hospitalized in 19 states. But they said the true number of people sickened could be much higher. The cucumbers in question were grown in Mexico and distributed by Sun-Fed Produce. The company has issued a recall. Salmonella is a bacterial infection that can be dangerous for some people. This isn't the first time we've told you about a salmonella outbreak. Others this year have been linked to organic carrots, Kirkland eggs sold at Costco, and fresh basil from Trader Joe's. Number 6. Starbucks and Nestle are facing scrutiny over labor practices in China. A new report from a New York-based human rights group, China Labor Watch, claims that Starbucks and Nestle's supply chains in China are not living up to the company's ethical standards. The organization investigated 26 farms in China with undercover researchers this year. They said they found that coffee bean suppliers are using children, excessive overtime, and lax safety standards to meet their targets. China accounts for less than 1% of global coffee output, but its industry is growing. Both companies said they had strict rules to prevent the kind of labor violations being alleged, and they pledged to investigate the claims. And at number 7, a man ran 700 miles over 10 months to create a work of art. Duncan McCabe is an accountant who lives in Toronto, but he's also an avid runner, an animation enthusiast, and it seems an artist. He used the popular Strava app to track 120 runs. That app has a function to display a red line mapping your route using GPS. He ran about 700 miles and created something remarkable. It's a 27-second animation of a hat-tipping stick figure dancing to Sophie Tucker's Purple Hat. McCabe said this was actually a bad running experience, but it was a deeply rewarding art project. The video has millions of views on social media, and it really needs to be seen to be believed, so go check it out in our newsletter today. Find a link to that in our show notes. It might just inspire you to go for a funky run. All right, you're all caught up. For your next listen, check out our afternoon news podcast, Post Reports. That's where my colleagues dig deeper into the most important stories of the day. Yesterday's episode focused on the thousands of people on death row who will likely never be executed, and what that says about the American justice system. Find Post Reports wherever you listen to podcasts, and don't forget to rate and subscribe to the show. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.